Back in my hometown not too long ago, in a little country church that sat not too far from where I lived, on a Sunday afternoon, the only girl that I've ever loved in this little life of mine was wedded to another man. And as I sat in the back of the church that afternoon, I could hear the organ playing soft and low. Here comes the bride. That's what they call it. And as I sat there, I heard the preacher when he said these very words. He looked at the man and he said, "Do you take this woman to be your lawful wedded wife, to love, cherish, honor, and obey until the day you die?" And he says, "I do." And then he looked at the girl that I loved and he said, "Do you take this man to be your lawful wedded husband, to love, cherish, honor, and obey him until the day you die?" And she smiled and said, "I do." It was so hard for me to sit there and hear her say these very words, "I do." Because people, I've loaned so many nights. I've waited for years. I've gone around in a daze, waiting for the Sunday afternoon that she'd say these very words for me. And now she was saying them for another man. I wonder if you know how I felt. But as I sat there, the ceremony was carried on, and after it was over, everybody was shaking hands, laughing and talking with one another. She came up the aisle with her lover, and she stopped in front of me, and she says, "Joe," she says, "Joe, baby, I want you to always remember that even though you and I are apart, that I'm going to keep a place reserved for you right here in the corner of my heart." I couldn't say a word. I stood there and watched them throw rice over their heads, and I watched them drive away in the car on a honeymoon. I couldn't say one word. Not one single solitary word could I say. not one word. But all I could do was cry. People, I tell you that all I could do was cry. Because I was losing the only girl that I've ever loved. And all I could do was cry.